Hello. We're going back and forth at each other there.
You there?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Hello, Randall Monk and Ronald Zane here. All right, we're going to read some quotes, some gems of wisdom from Archangel Michael. And this comes from the October 2020 message. Okay. You must move from an ego desire body, self-centered attitude. However, this does not occur until you are well on the path of ascension.
Why don't you take an inventory and go back to the time when you were a child and you first started school and how nervous you were about what people were going to think about you. And children are very brutal. They're very honest. Let's say they don't mean to be brutal, but they're very honest. And so you get all of these little names that people are calling you and different things that really bother you. Bother you because you're trying to find your identity. There is a virtue in selfishness when we are seeking our identity, so when you're very young, yes, your ego is very strong. But then over time, as you become wiser and you become more self-confident, we hope, that is why it's so important to begin to focus on yourself and begin to love yourself. Because until you do attain self-love, you're still going to be looking external to yourself. So the ego is always wants more, better, faster. It just wants to experience. In any way, it just wants excitement and to know and to experience, because the world is magical and there's so much out there. So while you're learning discernment, you're learning self-awareness, we can't focus on everything there is out there. So we have to begin to fine-tune our personality. We have to discover who we are. And over time, we hopefully develop that, but some people never do. They never get past that. What will people think? What will others think of me? And they take everything personally. And so their ego becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Once you step on that path and you begin to tune into your soul self, it begins to assist you very quickly because you have a heart monitor. And it's almost as if you begin to monitor what's being said and what is important and what is my truth. What is your truth? That's what you're looking for. Everybody, your parents have an influence. School, religion, culture, our government, everything there's an overlay. That's the mass conscious belief system. And if you stay there, you're in deep trouble. So Michael says it's very, very brave to step out of that. And that's a big step. And that's when you begin to think for yourself. In the past, a lot of people never had an individual thought of their own. Isn't that amazing? And so we now, as self-masters, we have decided what we believe. The saying goes, what you think of me is none of my business. It's what I think of me. And it's the same way with when we're talking about other people, our judgment. Michael says, find your truth, and you must live it, because that's what your soul self is going to monitor you by. But allow other people the same right. Allow them to find their truth, and don't judge it. It's difficult not to want to talk about it, and everybody wants to, like with religions and so on, the taboo. Yes, it's really important to stop, that if you have differences of opinion, stop talking about it. It's okay to have a difference of opinion, but if it gets where I want you to believe what I believe, then that's your ego. So it's a very, very important part of becoming a self-master. Finding your truth. The ego is the servant of the soul, not the director. And let your soul guide you and begin to listen to that little voice of conscience, your conscience, and it will get stronger. And then the information will come to you more. And so then what people say about you, you're no longer going to tap into. And that's why we say, how do you get bored with the saying, rise above it? Well, it's a very important thing we have to do. Rise above it, determine what's your truth, live that truth, and allow other people to do the same thing. Your ego will work for you because it will follow the soul if you insist that it do so.
Thank you, Rana. Here's another quote from that same message, October 2020. It takes constant and deliberate effort to tame the ego and to gain the knowledge and expertise necessary to become a world server. You must be an outstanding example and have the ability to excite and stimulate desire for spiritual wisdom in order to serve humanity as a guiding light. So, if you're watching this, you're a world server.
Yes.
And
yes.
you're a way shower. And we share the best way to teach is by example. And so it takes work, it takes practice, it takes dedication. So we encourage you to, if it feels appropriate for you, if you run it through your heart center, and if it feels appropriate to, put the ego aside somewhat and be of service. That's all for this one.
Stay well. We love you.
Bye now.
Bye.
From our hearts to yours.